Hey, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. It's CMZ News, aka Candace, where I am here to give you yet another recap of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. This time it is episode 15, titled Disco Inferno. And yes, this episode was frustrating to say the least. It was a S show, if you will. So, without further ado, let's get started. But before, of course, like, subscribe, comment down below. I love feedback. Never mind this little swatch of paint right here. I do plan on painting my office and sprucing things up. It's just been so hot. Like, I literally haven't gotten around to it in like almost 3 years. But no, it's really hot. But eventually we are going to paint this office, and I want that to happen like within the next month. Anyway, we're going to get right to it because honestly, this episode was really good. And it was so frustrating. There was so much freaking hypocrisy in this episode. And I feel like people are seeing it. People who have been really good or really like fans of like Rinna and Kyle, and they are seeing it. So let's get to it. We resume this episode and we are still at Dorit's party. Melissa Etheridge has performed. The ladies have had their big blowout, and Rinna is kind of calming down from her breakdown. If you remember, she broke down about Lois, getting Lois's delivery of her things from Lois's home because Lois has sadly passed away at the age of 93 years old, which was amazing that she was here that long and granted that much time. But it's still nevertheless sad. This is Lisa's mother, and she is Lisa's only living child because Lisa did lose her sister when she was a little girl. So they kind of wrap up the crying and hug it out, and we sing happy birthday to Kyle. It's Kyle's birthday. And Lisa, after we sing happy birthday, because the guys come over, sing, they go back, and Rinna thanks them for being there for her, and just says, you know, the reason I reacted like that and the reason for my anger is because of getting my mom's things. And she goes, you know, that was my reason. However, I feel that there are other issues going on in this group, which prompts Crystal to say, you know, I want to address my ED. She advises them, you know, this is kind of a rumor going around with you guys that I haven't talked to anybody. I actually have been seeing someone. And then Kyle interrupts and is like, well, are you seeing the right person? Which I feel like Crystal was a little offended, but she handled that question really well, because I feel like, you know, if Crystal has struggled with this since she was, 11 years old, and Crystal's like 37, I'm sure she's seen lots of people. Come on, Kyle, like, she's probably seen a lot of right people, a lot of wrong people. This is something that is never going to go away. This is a lifelong disorder, disease, you know? So I just think that comment was a little insensitive. She didn't mean it like that. And I think when you're talking about stuff you don't really know. Now, Kyle knows about it, and I guess she was able to heal her issues. But I would imagine living in Hollywood, even if you're not an actress, these are reality stars. Kyle's an actress, Lisa's an actress. Lisa's extremely thin. You know, these women are seen. Heck, even me just trying to get ready for this, to film this, I'm like, all right, let me put on a little something, which I don't do much, okay? But the pressure to look good, and Crystal is not an actress. She's on this show, but she's married to Rob. She goes to Hollywood events. She is seen. She goes to outings. So the pressure is there for her as well. So it's a lot. And, you know, it's something she's going to deal with. So she addressed it. She did feel, I think, in that scene that here she goes being vulnerable, and her feelings once again are just being kind of like brushed under the rug. What she feels is a habit with these ladies when she is vulnerable to them. And I have to agree with that. It's like they don't like take her seriously, or they just kind of think her issues, she needs to just kind of like get over it. Erica even said, like, look, she needs to see somebody. As far as Crystal goes, she needs to see someone. She needs to get this done and get it taken care of it. Move on with her life. Like, you don't think Crystal wants to move on with her life? She's got children. She's married. She's got a business. She's got that water thing she's doing that's at Costco. Like, she doesn't want to deal with this. She wants to enjoy herself. Anyway, so they wrap up with that. And then we get to Sutton. And Sutton goes, well, there's something that I want to share with you, telling Erica. She goes, I've been contacted in regards to Erica's lawsuit. She's looking around the room and telling everybody. And Erica's just like listening. And then Sutton lets us know, I received a letter. And in the letter, it was asking her, basically what she knew about Erica's cases. She has many, many lawsuits against her. And she goes, I hired a litigator to help answer the questions. And Erica brings up that comment last year at the dinner that Sutton got cursed out when she said that she had heard a rumor, but she said that privately with the ladies. But she was like, I had heard a rumor that one of the attorneys at the law office didn't want to work there anymore because of the goings on. So yeah, they sent her this letter to find out, well, what do you know about this? Erica was like, and that's why I told you to be quiet. I told you to stop talking. Sutton's like, you didn't tell me nothing of the sort. You didn't tell me to stop talking. You didn't tell me anything like that. She goes, I told you to stop talking. I told you to be quiet. No, you actually told her to shut up. That's what you actually told her. But if that was Erica trying to warn her, girl, you have a really, really crazy way. You could have said, stop talking on camera about this, Sutton. They are going to come after you. What she actually did say, do you want to get sued? Do you want to get sued? So, I guess after, in her Erica way, that's not a very sensitive way. She was telling Sutton, shut up, because you're running your mouth. You are questioning this. You are bringing this out. People are going to come after you. None of the other ladies have been subpoenaed or received letter. And Dory was like, well, Sutton, you were the only one who has said something and expressed concerns. And that is why you are being contacted. Garcelle's like, no, she wasn't the only one. She wasn't the only one. She says it real cool, which is true. And then we get a whole montage of the women all questioning what Erica has gone through. We've got Kyle who questioned her. You've got Dorit that questioned. Sutton was not the only one, nor was Garcelle. Were they the ones who maybe were the most vocal? Nobody poked the bear more than Sutton did. But Garcelle asked many questions. We had so many episodes. The whole season was basically Erica, and it was a huge season, and I wasn't bored of it, unlike other times when they've tried to do one storyline the whole season, like Lucy, Apple Juicy Goosey, whatever, the dog, Munchausen, all those other things. It's like, this was actually a really good season with Erica's mounting legalities. Sutton even said, what I've learned is you have many, many, many lawsuits coming for you, and it was true. So, Diana interrupts and says, basically to Garcelle, out of all the women, you are the most guarded. I feel like I have to work extra hard for your friendship. And Garcelle's like, what do you want to know about me, Diana? And she's like, well, I haven't heard from you. I talked to you at my Christmas party, and you were so, it seemed like it was a good talk. And Garcelle admits, like, yeah, and they show us a clip, and Garcelle, they made it originally like Garcelle was being a little shady when Diana was like, I really like you. I can see it in your eyes that you like me. And Garcelle actually admitted, yeah, I do like you, And she was like, we had a good conversation. Garcelle's like, I thought we ended fine. Diana goes, well, I haven't heard from you. Garcelle's like, well, I haven't heard from you either. Like, the phone works two ways, girl. You could pick up a phone and call me. Diana, that's what you would do. If you want to get to know Garcelle better, come over to her house. Invite her back over when it's just you and her. Ask her to go to lunch. Like, make an effort, because you're the one who offended her. And then Garcelle gets a talking head, and she's like, what do you want to know, Diana? When did you try to get to know me? Good point, right? You trashed me in a group text, which is the group text where Diana sent this long reason why she wouldn't go. Sorry, I didn't mean to do it like that, because honestly, she had a valid reason not to be there. She goes, you act like a complete bitch at my birthday party. Google me. If you want to know me, you want to get to know me, Google me. And I was like, yes, Garcelle. Google Garcelle, because you know what you won't find if you Google Garcelle's name? Madam Diana. You won't find any funny business in her records, okay? You won't find any questionable activities associated with her name. So Google her if you want to know her, okay? Then Rinna calmly, still coming down, probably in that mode from the crying about her mom, calmly, Garcelle, do you hear her? Do you hear what she's saying to you? Garcelle's like, taken aback, probably because I was too. She goes, well, what do you hear, Rena? She goes, I think she's sad and she's pained. Diana just wants to get to know you different. Garcelle agrees, and she's like, she just wants to get to know you differently. She wants to get to know you, which is like so rich coming from Rena, because she's like, do you hear anybody when they talk to you and they tell you, have you heard Sutton when she keeps telling you, I did not mean to embarrass you, I didn't mean to hurt you? Did you hear any of that? Did you hear Lisa Vanderpump when she said she was innocent and she didn't set up Dorit over the dog thing? Did you hear Yolanda when she said, yes, I have Lyme disease? You don't hear what anybody has to say. You don't take anything from anybody. You want to run with your narrative and your storyline. Did you hear Denise when she said she did not sleep with Brandy? Even if it was a lie? Did you hear her when she said this is messing with my family? So for this woman to now, did you hear her? Well, what did you hear? Why do you think that I'm not saying anything to her? Why do you think that, Rena? Fear. She claims that Garcelle has fear, and that she has fear because Garcelle is not coming from a place of love. The most vile person on this show right now to date, probably like almost neck and neck with Erica, okay? Because Erica's like in like defense mode, and she's always been like guarded, the Ice Queen. Rena is nasty, and she's talking about she's not coming from a place of love. Rena, barely anything you said is coming from a place of love. You're coming from a place of your character that you're playing on the show. You're coming from a place of a soap opera. So for her to even insinuate that Garcelle is afraid, well, you know what? Why? And if Garcelle is afraid, why isn't she afraid? Because you women are vicious. You guys are in a group. You've made it clear that you can't get close with her because of who her friend is. There's all these little microaggressions. You don't hear her when she talks. And that was actually what Garcelle said. She's like, I want to feel like I am right sometimes. I want to feel supported. And Kyle comes in and kind of makes a joke. Well, you know what, Garcelle, you're right. And it kind of breaks the ice. And it was just, a really bogus scene, because Garcelle even said, hey, Diana's like, look, I just want to get to know you differently. Garcelle agrees to it, and she goes, what do you think about that, Rena? Rena goes, why did you say it like that? And she goes, well, why didn't you say Diana? Did you hear Garcelle? So when Garcelle is saying, hey, I just want to be heard, that's what she's saying. It's never her. It's never, they're never on Sutton's side. They're never on Garcelle's side. No matter what, with all this stuff that's happened, it's always them against the Fox Force 4. I might just even say calling 5, because they have welcomed Diana Big Pockets Madam into their group. So it's all of them against. And the night ends. It's exhausting. Rena went from one extreme to the next, honestly. And I think she was taken aback at Garcelle barking back at her, saying, what do you hear? What do you want? Also, I want to point out in this scene, and I think this is the scene that they decided that they are coming for Kathy Hilton. When Rena initially said, do you hear her? Do you hear her? Garcelle was like, what do you hear, Rena? And Kathy started busting up laughing. And I just feel like in that minute, Rena was like, oh, you think it's funny? I got something for that ass. And as we know, Rena claims she has receipts, and we know Aspen is coming up, and all this stuff goes on. So I think this episode was very telling how the women actually talked to Kathy. I'll get to that in a little bit. But speaking of Kathy, we go to Crystal's house, and we have a really sweet scene with Crystal at her house. Sorry, my transition was a little wild there, but the night before ended, okay? The night's over. That was a lot. That was like, what, 2 episodes? Like, a lot. So we get to Crystal's, and she's talking to Rob about the ED, and she's saying how the girls have been questioning her, and she wants to get well, but she doesn't want to do it for them. She wants to just feel supportive. and she doesn't want to feel pressured. And Rob is just like, seriously, he's looking so sad and he's looking so supportive, and he's just like, well, it's like he didn't know what to do, because they had just a few minutes before they were like pouring wine and stuff, and they were gonna enjoy this beautiful gift basket that he just got gifted from somebody. And he just was like, look, you know, we'll get you the help, we'll do whatever. And he gives her a really good hug. Crystal breaks down crying. And I'm not making fun, but like literally Crystal has cried almost like every episode. And I'm like, you know, I don't know if this is for her. I feel like she's too normal, even more normal than like Garcelle. Like, cause I feel like Garcelle is a normal person on this show dealing with this type of stuff. But Kathy Hilton comes over and she walks right in just as Crystal's like kind of wiping up her tears, and she tells Kathy, well, I was just crying, you know, and talking about why she was crying and about the girls and everything. And Kathy's like, look, the girls' advice, they are coming from a good place. It's coming from love, but you need to talk to professionals. We are not doctors. We are not, you know, nurses. We're not psychologists. We are not experts in this field, even if we've gone through it. But you need to not feel the pressure, and you need to talk to the right people. And I will note in the previous scene, you know, I think Lisa Rinna had mentioned that she had given Crystal some additional resources from people that her girls had gone through. So, you know, I don't think that it's coming from a bad place. And I did say that before. I do think that the girls' concerns are, I won't say it's like not necessarily valid. I think they just don't get it. I think they're just like, if you've got a problem, fix it. And it's just clearly not that simple, okay? Clearly not that simple. But Kathy, you know, she's like, do you have a cracker? And they're like, what? Oh yeah, you want some crackers? She's like, yeah. And then they like go and get her a cracker because they got this nice, you know, new basket of stuff. And Rob's like, you want some cheese with it? She goes, yeah, I'll have some cheese. And she's like, you know, maybe a Diet Coke or something. And they like proceed to run around their kitchen and fixing Kathy basically a full-on charcuterie board, which I thought was like amazing. I'm like, Kathy Hilton walks herself in, and it's so funny because I'm like, I feel like she's so normal in so many ways. I mean, this woman has money, and she is not new money. She's had money for years. Money for years. She is rich, in the words of Brenda. She is rich, okay? And she is just over here just like, can I get something to eat? You guys have anything? Like, I feel like they would have poured her a bowl of cereal. She would have like low-key ate that. She seems just so normal. I feel like she'd come to my house and I could just give her some of my daughter's snacks and she'd be okay sitting up there talking and stuff. So she's really down to earth. And then we go back to Kyle's house, and it is her birthday, and she is going through her gifts. We've seen all the beautiful flower arrangements she's got. Kris Jenner sent her flowers. She got a beautiful like champagne bottle or wine bottle maybe from Garcelle. And her kids are coming in. All the kids are there except for her child who's in college. I forget which, Sophia, I think. And Portia brings the gift down, and she's like, it's from Sophia, you guys. And it's some beautiful skates, and it's they're gold, and they're all in matching PJs, her and her kids. And they're like, oh mom, you know, you're gonna put these skates. And Kyle puts those skates on, okay, and she is like really good at it. And you get a flashback of her saying that, you know, back in the day in the 70s, they used to all go to this skating rink, and it was like the kids of the from different strokes. It was her and the Jackson kids, Jackson 5 and everybody, the whole Jackson family rather. Because remember, Kyle is a child actor, so she was around with that whole genre. I'm probably sure she knew, I don't know, Ricky Schroeder and them. Like everybody from that era she knew. And it was a really cute little scene. And they're eating dinner. They get what was it, Joe's Crab Shack? No, it wasn't Joe's Crab Shack. It was Joe's Stone Crab, which is like one of her favorite restaurants. Her daughter Farah is there. She comes with her fiance. I forget his name. And they are talking about their wedding and what their upcoming plans are. And in one scene, you've got Kyle talking about, oh, it was so annoying when I was getting married to Maurizio because everyone had so much to say. His parents weren't very welcoming. His grandparents weren't welcoming. I was divorced. I had a small child. I wasn't Jewish. And, you know, I had to convert. And it was just like this big thing. And then she gets married and her family is all Catholic. And they're like, why do we have to wear the yarmulkes and all this stuff? And it was just big adjustment. She said it's really important to her that Farah's husband-to-be doesn't feel that way. Farah says she's not going to be a bridezilla, that she's going to be a very calm bride. So we will see if Farah manages that. And I'm looking forward to that. You know, we get glimpses of Kyle's kids. I I have some problems with Kyle and how she is on this show, and how she's been since season 1 on this show. But of all the franchises, Kyle is one of my her family life is one of my favorites. Like her kids, her husband, they are just, you know, again, no problematic, all problematic stuff aside, I just love them. And I like the glimpses we get of her family. I think she has a really healthy dose of showing us her kids and not overdoing it. Her kids have their own thing going on. They're not trying to be like influencers or anything like that. And if they were, there is nothing wrong with that, because this is how these kids are making money these days. And it is what it is. But they are really good kids, love their parents, and they love and respect her. So we go on over to our next scene, and we got Eric and Rinna, and they are having lunch. Lisa did a little photo shoot for People with her and Harry. It's a couples issue, so that was nice. They discussed the party before at Dorit's, and she's like, you know, again saying how it's the grief. I've got, you know, the anger. That's how I'm manifesting it, and unfortunately, it's all directed at Sutton. Her little laugh, that it's so cute, it's so funny, and bullying Sutton. Oh God, you know, Rinna, it's not cute, okay? Then they get into this whole discussion, Eric and Rinna, about, you know, how Sutton just chooses to throw things out there. And she goes, well, I didn't like that she said, you know, you've got many lawsuits against you, because it was mean. That was mean. Again, this person saying that anybody is mean is crazy to me, when she is like one of the freaking meanest people on this show. Let me bring this closer. Hello. Okay. Sorry about that. And, you know, Erica admits that she's, in my opinion, she's basically saying that Sutton is a sniper. Sutton, again, is preventing them from being closer to Garcelle, and that there's times when Sutton is fun. But, you know, when she's bad, she is her own worst enemy, is what they're saying. So, which I find is so freaking rich coming from these hypocrites, okay? Rinna mentions that she's going to be having her Rinna Beauty party, but it is still going to be just them due to COVID. Different location. Last time it was at Crystal's house, but now it is going to be at a location, but it's literally going to be just them. So I'm like, why even have a party? Like, who else is there? But obviously for this show, she's going to advertise it. And obviously Bravo's probably getting their cut. They don't do no free advertisements for any of these products anymore. They all got to get their money. So we get another scene of the girls at lunch or dinner, Kyle and Sutton this time. Kyle arrives with her new $16,000 bourbon. She orders a very buttery Chardonnay. Sutton gets a Kettle One on the rocks with grapefruit juice on the side. I'm like, I want to try these drinks. Like, you know what? Tomorrow's episode, I don't know. I got to get me some Grey Goose or something, and I get me some grapefruit juice. I want to try one of these drinks. I need to get some lemon carcasses. I think I have lemons. I want to drink one of these signature drinks that they make, or that they're always ordering on the show, and like drink it while I watch the show. And that'll be like really nice nightcap, you know, because I like to watch the show when my kids are asleep, and I can just like focus and just like kind of enjoy it. So I think that'll be a really nice like one little drink. But I need to get one of those ice cubes, because I like the little circular ice that everybody's doing. But anyway, I'm gonna just fast forward through this scene. She talks about the letter. She gets into more detail about it, and basically she was being contacted as like a third party witness. Kyle was trying to, you know, really understand it. Then it kind of goes back to Sutton saying, listen, I feel like you're defending Erica right now. And Kyle's like, well, how's this getting turned on me? No, I'm just asking. Like, no one else has gotten a letter. You're the only one who's gotten a letter. And they switch gears and mention that Sutton has a date, and Kyle has a kind of a fun little scene where she's like, well, you should show up looking poor. But I'm pretty sure Sutton Streck is not dating men who are like not successful in some way. They may not have as much money as her, but I'm pretty sure they have some money, okay? Then we go over to Dorit's. Actually, prior to that, everyone is getting ready for Rinna Beauty. So another little fun scene of everybody getting their makeup done, their hair done. Everyone's got glam, including Erica. And we go to Dorit, and she is also wearing some skates. Maybe because her and Kyle are best friends now, so she needs to get some skates too. And we get Phoenix, her daughter, and she's helping Dorit in her skates. And like PK is like all nervous, like, no, Dorit, baby, you're gonna, you know. And Dorit's like, oh, PK, you know, trying to like running around these skates. And you got little Phoenix running after her, and she's like little Phoenix is telling PK to like stop making Dorit nervous. She goes, if she breaks her neck, it's your fault because you're making her less confident. And I just thought it was so cute because Phoenix, it just reminded me of my daughter when, like, I don't know, if I asked my husband, like, oh babe, you know, can you like take the trash out or something? And Aubrey's like, Dad, did you hear Mom? She says take the trash out. And Phoenix is all, I think PK was like, look, Dad's in charge. And Phoenix is like, no, you're not in charge. Like, I'm here to protect her. And it was a really cute scene. I'm really loving Dorit at this season of life that she is on the show, and her as a mom. Her kids are so cute, and you can tell she just, they're so comfortable with her. They love her. It was a really cute scene. So now we are at Lisa's party, okay? We are getting through this. It's like, I wish I could make this shorter, you guys, but like there was so much, and I don't know. If you have any suggestions, sometimes I wanted to skip to the tea, like the best parts, but I'm like, I gotta go in order. So we get to Lisa's party, and it's a disco 70s theme. I think I forgot to mention that. 70s theme. Lisa's got some big hair. She's super tan. If you follow her on Instagram or any of the Bravo accounts, they was on her for being how tan she was. I was like borderline, like, okay, Lisa, like, but you know, Lisa's, I think, pretty tan naturally, you know, herself. But she's got this big hair. It's decorated really nice, like super cute, big disco balls and stuff. You know, 70s parties are always fun. And the ladies are all arriving, and they're also telling their Studio 54 stories. Rinna admits that she's gone to Studio 54 one time. Garcelle had a Studio 54 experience where she was like at a table with some, you know, a group of people, and they were passing around some, or actually it was, yeah, they were passing around some booger sugar, if you will, and she spilled it because she didn't want to do it. So it was kind of funny. And the ladies are all taking pictures. What's her name is there? Sheree is there. Cherie is there. And Kyle, they're all sitting around, they're talking, because again, it's just them. So now they're talking. Kyle invites them to Aspen. She's like, look, I have a small house in Aspen, but there is another home that you guys can stay down close by that will be able to accommodate you guys all very comfortably. Diana's like, I'll stay at a hotel, thank you. And Kyle's like, oh, okay. All right, well, go ahead. Diana admits that she is a great hostess, but she is not a great guest. She's like, I'm going to just eliminate everybody's stress, and I'm going to just stay, you know, I'm going to stay in a hotel, okay? Then some dancers come. It was kind of corny, but it's kind of funny. I mean, it was kind of corny, but it was cute. They're doing like 70s dance moves. They're all dancing. Some of the ladies get up. They're doing like electric slide and the little, you know, what is that movie? Staying Alive type moves and stuff. There's a couple different side conversations, and we've got Kyle, who, once all the ladies come back to the table, Kyle, being the producer she is, once again, is like, okay, so how did you feel, Sutton, about what happened at Dorit's house? Sutton's like, well, I didn't feel very good about it, you know? And she's like, well, have you asked Erica, like, what she meant about you being a liability and, you know, you bringing up the lawsuits and all that stuff, and you being a hindrance in the friendships and stuff? And Sutton's like, no, I don't want to talk about it. And Kyle's like, well, why don't you ask her? And so then she goes, Kyle, Erica, you say she's a hindrance in your relationships with being close to Garcelle. And Erica's like, yeah, you know, that's true. And Garcelle's like, look, you can't treat my friend crazy, curse my friend out, be nasty to my friend, physically threaten her, make threats to her. Sutton is showing up to the freaking reunion last year with bodyguards, but you think I'm going to sit here and do kumbayas with you? Like, you're crazy. And Garcelle admits, like, it's not even just if she was treating Sutton poorly. If she was treating anybody poorly, why would I be friends with her? And Dorit goes, you know, you brought up that Erica has a lot of lawsuits. And Rinna's like, that was mean. And Sutton was like, no, it wasn't mean. I'm just speaking the truth. She's got a lot of lawsuits. Rinna's like, excuse me. Yes, it was mean. Don't play dumb. And Sutton goes, it's aggressive. And I actually loved when she said that. And Rinna was like, oh, I don't care if aggressive. And, you know, I'm not going to have your back, and I'm not going to have her back when you say that. And she's like, well, first of all, Brenda, you've never ever had my back. Brenda's like, oh, have your own back, Sutton Strack. She was so ready to fight Sutton. Like, here you go. You're just over here a couple nights ago apologizing for your nasty behavior, but here you go again. Oh, have your own back, Sutton Strack. Oh, I don't care if I'm aggressive. I'm not going to have your back. Damn, calm down. Like, why am I even here? Why am I even here if I'm Sutton? If I'm every time? It's like these ladies, seriously, it is too much, okay? I am so sick of it. And, you know, Kyle tries to bring it back to Dorit's house. Kathy interjects. She goes, oh, you mean Dorit's house at the toothless, not homeless party? And they all start to giggle, which gets Dorit kind of upset. She's like, it's not toothless, not homeless. It's homeless, but not toothless. And and Kathy again is like, toothless, not homeless, the toothless. And then Kyle's like, well, you know, the name's not great, but they do really good work. And there's like a montage of them all messing up this freaking name. You guys, the name is terrible. It is hilarious though. It's like, okay, they're homeless. They're homeless. We're not going to fix that problem, but you know what we can do? We can fix their teeth. That's what we can do. We're going to fix their teeth. They might be homeless, but they're not going to be toothless on our watch. And it's a good charity, but it seriously was funny. And they're all like, we have this whole thing about it. And Kathy's like, look, I've worked with the homeless and I've worked with the toothless, and it was so funny. And again, I think in this moment again is when they're like, Kathy's got jokes. Okay, you think it's funny, Kathy? Just wait. We got something for you. Because the looks they were giving her, it was like Kathy was this older woman, which she is, nothing wrong with that, that was like just saying random things and getting on their nerves. And they're like, Kathy, no, like it's, you know, really chastising. I'm like, if you guys don't put some respect on Kathy Lee Hilton's name, like, watch who you're talking to. Okay. Lisa confirms that she does have strong feelings about Sutton. She thinks she has a right to be angry one minute and happy the next because of her grief. Sutton starts trying to explain herself again. She's getting very long-winded, and she's like, you know, my point is, and what I'm trying to tell you, and it's like kind of going really long. And Erica starts laughing. She goes, ha, and I'm the one with the drinking problem. And they all start laughing, and she goes, I'm the one with the drinking problem. Ma'am. And she like looks down at Garcelle. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of liked how she kind of like was like, we're gonna bring this up. I thought it was kind of cheeky and could be kind of, it was kind of funny like how she brought it up, you know. And then Diana's like, oh, do you have a drinking problem? And Garcelle's like, no. And Erica's like, oh, neither did I, but you tried to push it. And Garcelle's like, what are you talking about? Like, I didn't try to push it. So Erica, you know, resumes, and she's like, there were 3 incidents and you tried to push the false narrative, you know, for whatever purpose that was to she didn't say this, but I'm assuming to have a storyline or have something to talk about. She's like, you went and you ran to all these ladies and you were putting all these things in their head that I am just some person who is having extreme drinking incidents. And Garcelle's like, yes, I did have concerns about what you were doing, and about, you know, my concerns were that you're mixing medications and you need to learn how to like ration that. And she was like, you know, I was just being a friend. It was from concern. It wasn't from me trying to run around and just spread your business. I only talked to a couple people about this. They do show a couple scenes of Garcelle talking. You know, I've said a couple of times, I do feel that Garcelle was a little loose with her lips about this. But you know what, Erica, after you done cursed out her kids and acted a fool at her party, yeah, you know what? You hit on one child, you cursed out the other. Yeah, I can say whatever I want. You've lost me being able to be sympathize with you in this, because your drinking is now affecting me and my family, or my kids, and based on your behavior. So yeah, I'm gonna say what I want to say about you, and I'm gonna say it to whoever I want to say it to, you know. And Erica was like, you know, are you trying to get, what did she say? She goes, you know, first of all, Garcelle, because Garcelle was like, listen, Erica. And she was like, yes, Garcelle. And she goes, if I had a problem, you'd be one of the last ladies. You'd be one of the last people to know. And Garcelle's listening. She goes, and what I mean by that is that these ladies are the ones I'm closest with. And Garcelle's like, oh, I know. You guys say that like every other day. You guys are close. Me and Sutton are over here. I get it. I'd be one of the last people to know about your problems, but guess what? Because you were so freaking messy, I do know your problems. Because you were at my party and you were talking to my kids crazy. Yeah, now I'm very much aware of what's really going on, and I've got my eyes on you. She didn't say all that, but she goes, I felt like you went to everyone else to talk about it, which I think she did. And she goes, was that to make Erica look bad or out of genuine concern? Garcelle says, look, Erica, I don't have to make you look bad. You can do that on your own. Diamond drop because she read her in that moment, and everybody, they doing their shocked faces. And Erica's like, you know what? Well, it is my life to blow up if I want to blow it up. And Garcelle's like, you messing up your life doesn't change my world in any way. Okay? And Erica's like, I can make myself look bad, but you're making yourself look like a liar right now. Because Erica firmly believes that Garcelle was doing this for ulterior motives. It's her life to build or destroy. Dorit adds that Garcelle, excuse me. Dorit adds that, Garcelle, she goes, we had a conversation, and when you were explaining to me at our lunch, about her, and I was giving some feedback, you were like, don't be Kyle. And Garcelle's like, yeah, I said don't be Kyle. Like, stop making excuses for her, just like Kyle did. Kyle's like, what's wrong with being Kyle? She goes, no, you're putting extras on it. I wasn't saying it like, don't be Kyle. I'm saying like, listen, don't put extras on this, okay? Don't make excuses for her. Dorit's like, oh, I guarantee you said it more than once. And my thing is like, Dorit, why are you flip-flopping? Because you did have concerns for Erica. Rinna also had concerns for Erica. Sutton kind of stayed out of it. We've all seen Erica act sloppy. Everybody has made a comment. But because Garcelle isn't her good friend or in that little circle of trust that she has, doesn't mean she can't genuinely be concerned for her. She's a good-natured person, and she can care for people that aren't in her circle. Maybe Erica finds that hard because she has issues with being sensitive and feeling for others, except for feeling for herself. But Garcelle's not that person. So, it just kind of ends on this note. I think Kathy tried to be like, ladies, let's just try to be friends. They were like, no, Kathy, no. They shut her down again. I'm like, they're not here for Kathy right now. And Kyle wraps it up, and she's like, look, it seems like there's a love-hate between Sutton and Erica. That needs to be worked out. Sutton is like, I'm going to call you tomorrow, Erica. I'm just letting you know. I'm going to pick up the phone, and I'm going to give you a call, and I'm going to explain some things. And Erica's like, yeah, please don't. Thank you. So freaking cold. Like, why can't she call you? So you can only talk to her in front of these audiences. Why can't she call you and you guys try to get to a better ground? The fact that Sutton is even willing to do this for you speaks more about Sutton's character than it does Erica. Listen, the episode ends. Next week is Aspen. And, I felt like at the end of this episode, Garcelle is hurt. She was hurt hearing, again, how she's not heard, how she's not valued, basically, how she's not the closest one to her. Even though Garcelle has experience with stuff like this, she's the last person Erica would go to. Those things are hurtful to hear, And I think next week is going to be really good. Next week, which is tomorrow, is going to be a really good episode. I am looking forward to Aspen getting into the mess. The pretty mess is going to act a fool in the Aspen episode. We get, it's going to be when they confront, or Garcelle confronts her or whatever about, getting out of the, unfriending her on Instagram. We've got the blow up is going to happen with Kathy. I am predicting that Aspen's going to be a good 3 episodes. So hopefully we get something good the first episode. We also saw in the trailer, there's a part where Erica's like, I don't care about anybody but myself and all that. So Aspen's about to be like, seriously, I'm really going to make that drink I talked about, because Aspen episodes are going to be good. So the season is going really well. This has been a good episode. There's also still some offline drama going on. They have been attacking today some bots, because it honestly looks like paid bots were attacking Garcelle's son, Jax, saying really hurtful things, saying, why is your mom concerned about Erica when your brother suffered from X, Y, and Z? She should worry about him. It looked very much so like the same type of aesthetic accounts that were set up. They all were like the same type of accounts. If you want to, you could check out Jade's posts. Several of the ladies posted, hey, leave our kids out of this, which is true, because they attacked Portia after Maurizio and PK laughed. It is never okay to attack these kids. So there is so much going on. This reunion is going to be so good. I can't wait. But we are not even done with the season. So hope you like the recap. It was long. I'm going to see if I can get in here and like edit it shorter. I don't know. And like, comment, subscribe. Thank you. And share this with, if any of your friends like this up, like, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. So much hypocrisy, so much hypocrisy. The ladies can all defend each other, but Sutton can't be defended by her friend Garcelle. They can all have feelings and be hurt, and that's mean, but no one else can. Oh, Sutton Strack needs to defend herself. It's a lot. But until next time, friends, thank you.